Do this. All right, we'll start on the old side of the hand. I think sometimes I like to pretend I don't know what I want. But when I actually think about it, there are a lot of things that I want. I want a beautiful home that feels like home, that's full of really amazing shit that makes me feel creative and happy. I'd love to fill that home with people that I love and who love me. I'd love to feel a sense of community and belonging. I'd love some heated fucking floors and a big ass bathroom with counters that are always clean and a deep tub where I can read my smut in. And I want to fly first class and see Europe and eat croissants and wink at French boys. I do actually have an idea of what I want. And as soon as I start to get comfortable wanting it, there is a whole avalanche of reasons that come out of the closet of why I cannot have it. I've already let myself go too much. I'm already too old. I don't have great habits. Having great habits seems boring anyway, so fuck that. I am afraid if I actually get it, I won't want it because I've gotten things I thought I wanted before. And it turns out I was actually looking for something else, a sense of belonging, purpose, fulfillment, just someone to tell me I'm doing a fucking good job. So when I got my bedazzled carrot, I just tossed it on the pile, my collection. It's like my closet full of Beanie Babies that I thought were going to make me a millionaire. Sometimes it's disappointing to be a human being. Sometimes I feel hopeless. Sometimes I feel really incredibly special in that I don't think I have a purpose or can't have what I want. Like the game is rigged against me specifically. And even though I like to torture myself this way sometimes, if I was not me, perhaps I was a friend that I loved, I would definitely give her a hug. I would tell her she's being a little bit silly and that maybe she doesn't want the shiny carrot. Or fucking maybe she does. But that it's more about who she becomes along the way. It's more about loving all of the highs and lows. And it's more about the joy and wanting big things. Maybe one day you'll own a private jet. Maybe one day you'll go to Europe and it will be in coach. The truth is, we don't know what's going to happen. So instead of torturing myself and pretending that I am the worst person in the world and that all of my shitty exes, who were definitely worse people than me, were right, I am going to take my own advice, remind myself how miraculous it is that I'm even alive, and reflect on all the things that I have created. Like maybe I have debt, but I do have a loving home filled with cool, weird shit. And I don't yet have heated floors, but I wipe off my counters and I make delicious meals and I sit outside and put my face in the sun. And some of the things I have now were things that I desperately wanted not so long ago. So I'm going to take this opportunity to celebrate being alive, being a fickle little human who's always going to change my mind, and to celebrate exactly where I'm at. I have lungs that work. I have legs that work. Sometimes when I look in the mirror, I feel great. I'd love to get that up to 100% of the time, but goals. And maybe that's enough for right now. Okay, let's just pause there. Oh, oh, shoulder cracks for me. How we doing? Nods, stretches. Johnny's been pacing this whole time and I fucking love it. Okay, more of the same. Anything in particular come up? Anything that needs to be dialed in on, nailed down? The things I have now were once an idea. Yeah, for sure. It's like so easy to forget that and so easy to be like, I mean, it's fun to have a list of desires, but also celebrate the fucking pile of carrots. Um, okay.
I think a thing that popped up was like the worthiness, not the worthiness to have the thing, but the worthiness to do the things to get to the thing. I think we skipped that middle part. So like I think there's some juice in that for me,
Yes.
at least.
Okay, love that. Thank you. Okay. 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 Everybody good? Worthiness to obtain the desires. Hell yeah. Okay. Okay. I want a life full of freedom. The freedom to choose how I spend my time and who I spend my time with. A bank account that makes me giggle with glee because it's ridiculously full, which would provide me the ultimate freedom because I wouldn't have to do things I don't want to do for money. It would be a whole world of possibility. But it's hard to believe that I can actually have that. because my credit card balance makes me giggle with uncomfortable. Hee, that's too high. Wish that was in my savings account. And the kind of person that has that much credit card debt, it could never have a laughable amount of in their bank account. Like rich people have somehow figured it all out. Or like at least their grandparents figured it out and they just were born luckier than me. Because I have changed a lot of things in my life. I have worked on so much mindset, but this one thing is pretty fucking sticky. And I sometimes don't think I'll ever find the answer. I feel a little bit hopeless. And these are just visions of grandeur. And I'm stuck just watching it from a seat in a movie theater. It's a dark road. But I don't think it's exactly true either. Because there was a time I literally made $8 an hour. I remember my first $600 paycheck and I almost shit myself. Now, $600 comes easily to me. And I don't know that I'm a better person than I was when I was making $8 an hour. I think I was a pretty good person back then. I know more. I've done more. I've seen more. But I wouldn't say that I'm more worthy or deserving than I was in my 20s. So maybe instead of trying to prove that I'm worthy and deserving enough to have what I want, to earn what I want, to be able to make an exchange of my soul for what I want. Maybe I can look at this a little bit differently because I have tried a lot of things and I have had a lot of success. And I have changed the way that I move through the world. And I am going to continue to iterate on all of those things. Because showing up to something where I tap on my face and improve my life on a Wednesday morning is my idea of a good time. And look at all these people that have come to join me. I already am setting up my crew, my community. So instead of getting hyper fixated on the shiny carrot, and the lack of shiny carrot and the pile of old shiny carrots that are not as good as the new shiny carrot. I'm going to take the opportunity to open myself up to seeing the next right step. Because I love making changes. Part of me loves being uncomfortable in that way. And this change probably terrifies the shit out of me, which is why I saved it to the end of a long list of other changes. But I've been gathering my strength. I've been gathering all of this proof that this work works. And just because the proof isn't in the same arena as this big change doesn't mean I can't apply it here. It just means this one was the hardest, so I saved it for last. So now that I'm reminding myself that I'm fully fortified, that I'm fully capable of taking steps and of identifying the steps, I'm also going to remind myself that there's probably a bunch of steps between me and a heated floor. There's probably a bunch of steps between me and a laughable bank account number. And instead of feeling disappointed and daunted, I'm going to choose to feel relieved. Phew. That means I don't have to push this huge ass boulder up a hill in 1 hour. Oh, that means I have time to figure out one step in front of the other. Huh, that means there's lots of little milestones to celebrate between here and there. Well, that's starting to feel more hopeful already. So even though sometimes I like to lie to myself and pretend that I'm not worthy of making this next set of changes, or tell myself that I'm not going to want what I want when I get it, I'm choosing now to deeply and completely love and accept and forgive myself. Because even if that happens to be true, it's okay. I can list my shiny carrot on Poshmark and sell that bitch to somebody else. And I'm sure I'm going to learn something along the way. Because who knows, the person I'm becoming might start to change her mind about the big dream and what she wants. And that's kind of the fun of it. So I'm giving myself permission to change at my own pace. and to celebrate and get to know myself at every step of the way. And so it is. Okay, how are we doing? I feel like we covered a lot of ground today. Um, ah, how